Geez, we'll have to start telling this story quick because this camera dies in like 2 minutes. So my story comes from a guy that we worked with at the casino. He was 83 years old and still working full time. This guy's name was Logan. So hats off to this guy. He was sitting with us at break one time telling us a story that he was in the Army, and not just in the Army back in years ago, but he fought in the Korean War. He tells us this story about when the American soldiers fought. They were actually Chinese soldiers that were helping the Koreans in North Korea. They were in North Korea territory, and they were trying to push back the DMZ. A lot of American soldiers killed, a lot of American soldiers wounded. And at the end of that particular battle, if there were anybody still left on the battlefield wounded or still alive, Chinese soldiers would go through with their bayonets and stab them in the chest or the stomach and make sure they were dead. Irv said he was wounded, but he was unconscious. And a Chinese soldier came up and wanted to make sure he was dead, so he stabbed Irv in the stomach. This is a split-second decision that Irv made because it brought him out of consciousness, but he was able to realize quick enough that if he reacted, the Chinese soldier would know he was alive and probably shoot him in the head. So Irv said after being stabbed in the stomach, this guy did nothing. You want to talk about the pure definition of suffering in silence. This guy didn't move, didn't react, pretended to be dead enough to where the Chinese soldiers moved out. And a couple hours later, mind you, while he's bleeding from the stomach, 2 hours later, American medics came by, found him alive, and he was able to get out. We were sitting there having break and eating our lunch, watching this guy tell the story, and I could not believe it. If that is not the sheer definition of badasserie, I don't know what is. I simply burned my hand with hot glue, and I'm a baby for 3 days. I was sitting there just